Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fund Consulting Thought Leadership Series, a special collection to mark the 25th anniversary of Fund Consulting. That's a quarter century of time. Fund Consulting has stood at the intersection of community development, research, and actionable insight, which supports CDFIs and partners across the country. And so, as a part of this celebration, we put together a series of conversations with our clients, industry experts, team members, and key stakeholders. These people whose voice and work have shaped not just fund consulting, but the field in broad. So today we're excited to have an opportunity to spotlight Fund CI. Fund Community Institute is a research-focused branch of Fund Consulting, which a family of companies. Today we have Ruth Barber, one of our founding partners here, and one of the driving forces behind Fund CI. So she's here as we walk through why Fund was founded, and as a part of this anniversary, we're excited to introduce her to you. So, without further ado, we have Ruth Barber with Fund Consulting. Hi,
Thank you,
Ruth.
Kimberly. Hello. Okay, so am happy to be here and give sort of a spotlight on Fund Community Institute because it really is a, sort of like a passion project for us and something that we feel so privileged that we were able to do and spearhead. So about 8 years ago, we just felt like we had seen a lot. We've worked with 300 to 400 CDFIs over the past 20 years, and we thought we had seen a lot of data and information and actionable research and things that we could provide to the industry. And we thought, you know what, let's formalize this a little and make it so that we can actually really get this research done and get it out there. And our commitment was always to do research on the CDFI industry and provide it free of charge on the website and to everybody. And we had some priorities, and one of them was partnerships. And we've worked with the CDFI Women's Network, the Credit Builders Alliance, individual CFI practitioners at different CDFIs, and that's one of the things that has been really rewarding about it is getting to know and work with different partner groups that also have things to offer to the community. And then, it's the other thing is really just having this, being able to provide really actionable research in a timely manner. So we want to get the research out there and put together tools that CDFIs can use to improve impact, to improve reach, to improve management of their companies, to improve grant writing, to improve how their boards operate. And so we have been really fortunate and have, a strong board that has been with us and continues to be with us. And we are just so happy to be able to do the research and to put the research out there for everyone.
Yes, I love that. I'm excited because I'm a little chemistry nerd as well. So all of this research is like, I want to do it. I want to do it. So I love that we have this arm attached to Fund Consulting that allows us to engage and create different research point of views because it's needed within our community and the industry. I'm so excited about that. So would you like to tell us a little bit about some of the research we've done and how we've used it?
Sure. I will. I'll just highlight a couple of the bigger projects that we've done, and then maybe talk about where we're going and what we think we might be doing in the future. So the big project we did in 2018 was with the CDFI Women's Network and was about women in the CDFI industry. And really it was to sort of benchmark, do an audit, get like a sort of status of what the situation is for women in the industry, so that we can sort of assess and evaluate and look for longitudinal issues too. And that one, we did a survey and we did interviews with 51 women across the CDFI industry in all different types of roles, and then did a follow-up after that, specifically focused on Native CDFIs and women in the Native CDFI industry, because it did turn out to be remarkably different than for the CDFI industry as a whole. But that project was really, really groundbreaking in the sense that, like, no one had really looked at that before. How many, women are on boards of CDFIs? How many CDFIs are women-led? And so that one was really, really positive for us. And as I said, we did that follow-up. And then we also did a follow-up on sort of DEI in the industry, because that came up as part of that study as well. We also are just finishing up a project with CARSI that was funded, looking at the role of technical assistance provided by CDFIs, and if they ever target that to women, or if they have any different, anything different about the programs that they offer, if they know that the potential business owner or the potential borrower is female. And so that should be coming out in the next month or so. And it's, sort of a follow-up to that too. We have also done some research on, I know I said I would only give a couple, but then I get going. We also did one on credit scores with Credit Builders Alliance, which is actually really interesting and actually had a lot of carryover into sort of gender issues as well, when we were looking at how organizations develop credit scores, how they report them, where the bias is in the credit scores, what might be ways that we can get around that. And so it was really interesting to, find data showing that, someone who fits all the same profile characteristics as myself, but might identify as a different gender, might have a higher credit score. So that was really interesting as well, and one of those that we felt like we could really provide some data that was useful to CDFI practitioners. And so we did some others on board accountability. They're all up on FundCI's website, that people can access all of them. We did some profiles of technology providers that are up there that are actually really interesting. And what's coming out in the future, I'm anticipating this is going to be your next question, Kimberly, and I'm just rolling right into it.
Love it.
It is going to be the 10th anniversary this year of the CDFI Women's Network. And so we are doing sort of an update and round 2 of the Women in the CDFI Industry study. And that will be coming out and available in the fall, around the time of the OFN conference, so that we can present it from the CDFI Women's annual meeting there. And what is actually coming out this week is we are doing a similar benchmarking type, what's the status of the industry in terms of AI. And so we want to look at, how are CDFIs using AI, and what are the barriers to using it, and what are the sort of ethical and moral issues that come along with it, and how can mission-driven organizations responsibly use AI. And so that one is coming out, hopefully to be delivered in April, in conjunction with CDFI Friendly America and the series they're doing on the future of CDFIs.
This is great. Good. I'm excited because we have such a major role in this, and all of that research plays a integral part. So I'm so excited that you went through all of those different ones. I know once we get started, it's like we go down a rabbit hole, but that's what research does for us. That's what we do. I love it. But I wanted to introduce Queen Star here. Queen Star, would you just give us a little background about yourself and the work that you do with Fund CI?
Hi, so my name is Queen Star, and I'm a data analyst at Fund Consulting. I just provide data survey work and stuff like that. So, yeah. But Ruth, thank you for all the information you've shared. You've literally been in the industry for so long, like 25 plus years. That is a long time. And I can imagine that you've seen growth and changes that has inspired some of the research that you've done. I think you've already got into the question about what the future looks like, but I was still wondering if you've seen like gaps that are still persistent in the industry that Fund CI is looking into, like, areas of research. So you've mentioned some, but looking at how long you've been there, there's definitely like changes that have taken place that, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Queen Star. It's interesting that one of the things that has been great about Fund CI is that we can be very nimble and we can respond to different things that happen, trends that are coming along, and we can actually generate research in a much more expeditious manner than maybe universities or other places that have many more constraints on things like that. So we've always been happy that we can respond like that, and that's one of the reasons why AI is obviously a topic of great timeliness, and so we're really happy that we can jump in and look at things like that. I think that one of the interesting things is that generally we are outward looking in terms of like, oh, what's coming down? Should we be looking at changes they're going to make to opportunity zones, or changes they're going to make to the Community Reinvestment Act, or what's the effect of AI going to have on loan underwriting, right? But what's also interesting now is the political environment is so different and has had a really broad effect on the CDFI industry in sort of changing a lot of things that had been put in place for the 25 years. And so now I do think, instead of that sort of forward looking, what are we adding, how are we building or something, I think there's a lot more about sort of what does the community development finance industry look like in the future, and how is it capitalized, and how does it talk about itself, and how does it bridge some of these gaps, because even though the CDFI industry has been around for a long time now, these lending gaps still exist, and there are still people who cannot get the funding that they need. And so, those still exist and they still need to be filled. And I think it's just a matter of, figuring out what the new environment, what opportunities there are in the new environment, and how we can sort of help people navigate those and do the best they can.
That's awesome. And I was thinking, it all wraps up into this think tank, right? You're able to bring this knowledge together to share, but also what are the best practices? What are the ways to promote innovation? And so I love that this platform allows that and encourages that dialogue so you can share. I wanted to do a plug for those who would like more information about Fund Community Institute. You can visit fundci.org and also fundconsulting.com. We want you to go check us out as we celebrate 25 years in this industry. And who better else to hear from than the think tank themselves, right? I love it. So I'm excited to kick off this series. I want to thank you, Ruth Barber, and also you, Queen Star Mensa Bunsu. I know that you didn't think you were coming to talk today, but I was so excited to have you as well. And have everyone look out for the series as we continue to celebrate 25 years. We thank you again and enjoy your
Thank
day.
you.